Hey everyone, me Kevin here with a late night stimulus package. Today, Joe Biden met with multiple CEOs from companies like Walmart, Gap, Lowe's, Chase, and other companies. The topic was, of course, Joe Biden's big and very large package, jobs, jobs, and more jobs. And reading between the lines over the discussion of Joe Biden's package, it seemed like many of the executives were basically trying to dissuade Joe Biden from pushing the $15 minimum wage through. Instead, they suggested that Joe Biden focus on other things. Like one CEO said, we should focus on educating people. That maybe, I didn't directly say this, but the implication was rather than paying people more, they should go get more of an education so that then they can get paid more money. Another CEO said, why don't we just focus on infrastructure? And Jamie Dimon wanted a little bit of everything. He encouraged Joe Biden to pursue a strong policy on immigration, healthcare, and infrastructure. And he said that doing those things will boost the economy, sort of implying that you don't need to raise the minimum wage because if you do those things, the economy will get better and then people will make more money. Which, of course, brings up the topic of the $15 minimum wage as a potential roadblock to the $1.9 trillion large package. So far, all eyes are on Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is a Democrat in the Senate who pretty much can single-handedly shut down the next stimulus package with anything that he demands. And the latest we got from Joe? Well, as usual, it's indirect, but it's a little bit of something. Joe's state has a minimum wage of $8.75, and Joe has recently, today, expressed that he's open to raising the minimum wage in his state from $8.75 to, no, not $15, $11. Now, that doesn't mean that Joe Manchin is necessarily anti the $15 for the nation, but it's a potential tell or show of his hands. Some are calling it a feeler to see how people are going to react to Joe Manchin's statement. It certainly doesn't help, though, that the Congressional Budget Office thinks that 1.4 million jobs will be lost with a $15 minimum wage by 2025. Sure, 900,000 to 1 million people will be lifted out of poverty, but the GOP is basically already having a field day with this. And the media is going off on senators as well. In fact, Senator Ben Cardin was grilled earlier today and asked, wait a minute, why would you pass the minimum wage if it's going to cost jobs? Like the CBO says it will cost jobs. Ben Cardin, a Democrat, says, well, there's going to be a transition, but after the transition, we'll have a stronger economy. If we raise the minimum wage, we'll have a stronger economy and we'll get through the transition. Obviously, the Congressional Budget Office disagrees, but nothing says that congressmen and women have to listen to the research think tank that is nonpartisan. Economists will also tell you that any price floor, like a minimum wage, will create a deadweight loss in society, in the economy. But who says that politicians have to align with economists? Congressmen and women, after all, represent us and not economists. On the stimulus check, there was a question in our Discord, which you could join totally for free by going to metkevin.com/discord. And if you're not getting all the notifications, you can join there as well. And I'll be sending out notifications there for critical videos, so you'll get the notifications there totally for free. But anyway, on the stimulus check, there was a question. Will children get the $1,400 stimulus check? The answer to this is all dependents, including children or adult dependents, will get the $1,400 stimulus check as long as this package passes and as long as the family, whom those folks are dependents under, is making under $75,000 with a single person-led household or $150,000 for a couple. That amount, of course, is reduced completely to zero. That is, there will be no stimulus check once a single person-led household reaches an income of over $100,000 or a married couple reaches an income of over $200,000. In other news, the state and local funding text is out. We have a summary page of what is in that document. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. So this is from the House Committee on Oversight and Reform. This was released today. This shows us that there are $350 billion going to keep first responders, frontline health workers, and other providers of vital services safely on the job as state, local governments, tribes, and territories roll out vaccines and fight to rebuild Main Street communities. 60% of the funds will go to states and 40% will go to localities. That's at least what they're suggesting here. We'll see how this money actually ends up getting distributed. Funds are available until expended, awarded directly from the Treasury within 60 days of enactment, and subject to eligible uses, including to replace lost revenue, delayed, or decreased as a result of the pandemic. Republicans obviously are going to be hunting to make sure that money here does not end up going to bail out Democratic-led pension funds, though there are Republican states that also have underfunded pension funds, and Republicans don't have power right now, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, here you can see an additional breakdown here, $195 billion going to states and the District of Columbia, $130 going to local governments here, and then a definition or sort of a distribution based on the population of different areas. You can kind of screenshot here and pause. We also have money going to $4.5 billion going to territories, $20 billion going to tribes. That's almost 5x what's going to the territories. And emergency leave for federal and postal workers of $570 million. The bill would provide emergency paid leave for civilian federal employees and postal workers. So there would be paid leave if you're a federal worker. Employees would be eligible for up to 600 hours of leave when forced to quarantine or ill with COVID. Oh my gosh, 600 hours of leave. I mean, that's 2 months at 10-hour workdays, which honestly probably spreads out to more like 4 months of time off. Let's see, 40 hours a week. That's 10 weeks plus another 5 weeks. That's 15 weeks, basically, of full-time coverage for federal employees and postal workers. If they are quarantining or ill with COVID, when caring for a child whose school or place of care has been closed or is conducting virtual learning. Whoa! So if a child of a federal worker is conducting virtual learning, and you are a federal worker or work for the post office, you get to stay home for up to 15 weeks of full-time pay. Whoa! Or when caring for a family member incapable of self-care whose provider is unavailable due to COVID. Leave would be available until September 30th, 2021, and employees would be required to first use any other paid leave when applicable. And then $117 million would be spent on making sure that the money is spent on appropriate things. Wow. All right. Very interesting. Welcome to the way the government operates, I suppose. Jeez. I'll do it. Give me a fraction of the 117 and I'll go audit where the money's going, okay? I'll do it for way less than that. Whew, jeez. On impeachment, the Senate voted today to keep going with Donald Trump's second impeachment after 4 hours of debate today and some emotional videos. During these videos, some Republicans like Rand Paul resorted to doodling on their notepads and not paying attention to the videos. Although we never really expected Rand Paul to pay attention anyway. I probably shouldn't have said that. Oh well, let's keep moving on. After all, I think probably Nancy Pelosi does some doodling as well, maybe when she's waiting for her hair to dry. Anyway, Democrats argued essentially that just because what happened on January 6th happened to happen in the last few weeks of Donald Trump's presidency doesn't make him immune from impeachment. Republicans argue, what's the point of impeaching somebody who's not even in office? We're not even sure this is constitutional. Obviously today, though, by a vote of 56 to 44, the Senate decided to proceed with the impeachment trial. That is, they deemed it to be a constitutional impeachment, and therefore the trial will continue. Donald Trump was reportedly, per Politico, watching from Mar-a-Lago, and, he was very disappointed in his attorney's impeachment defense, suggesting that they were rambling about things that didn't matter. This week should be pretty entertaining, and we will see if Congress can actually walk and chew gum at the same time. That's what they say, but we'll have to circle back and see. Thank you so much for watching, and folks, we'll see you in the next video.